Many Baroque keyboard pieces, although they are not a dance, they resemble the rhythm of the popular dances of the period. Now, as variation 1 resembles a polonaise, variation 4 resembles a passe-pied. This is a triple rhythm, rather lively dance, and Bach has written here a variation in this style. The piece is imitated. It starts with the bass of the aria given to the left hand, but very quickly there enters another voice which imitates the upper parts. It is a 4-part variation with a very short imitative motive which comes in its original form and in its inversion, often in the piece. The fact that Bach uses full 4-voice counterpoint here gives the piece a particularly voluminous character, building up as every new voice enters. This variation reminds me of grand organ, despite the fact that it is a dance-like variation. So that's why I have used the 4-foot as well, together with the 2 other harpsichord registers, to play this variation. I thought that it emphasizes to them this building up of the sound. Now we don't really know for which harpsichord this set of variations were intended, if it was intended for a particular harpsichord. We only know that it was a 2-manual instrument. However, we can assume that it was either a German type instrument like this one, a Silbermann harpsichord, or some French type model. French harpsichords had already been very fashionable in Germany as well during the end of the first half of the 18th century. Next variation, number 5, is pièce croisée. It is a piece that crosses the hands all the time. It is also a perpetuum piece. That means it has a constant motion of quick notes that never stops. This is a very demanding variation to perform, as one hand plays the perpetuum part, so the quick succession of 16th notes, and the other hand makes great leaps, crossing over the other hand from the bottom to the top of the keyboard. So this makes it very, very challenging to perform. This variation has been characterized as an arabesque by some writers. Arabesque is a piece of music that displays great beauty into fine details. It obviously needs to be performed on 2 keyboards, as Bach asks at the beginning of the variation. Because of the constant hands crossing, it is very uncomfortable to play this variation on 1 keyboard. However, it is doable, as we of course know from the piano interpretations of the piece. Variation number 6 is another canon, this time at the interval of the second. So the bass plays here again a quasi-perpetuum role. It has almost constant runs of 16th notes on the harmony always of the aria of the variations. And the right hand has a 2-part canon in the interval of the second. Now, this interval of the second gives a very, very special effect. The beginning of almost every bar of this canon is a suspension that has to be resolved in the next beat. And this adds a very, very affectful character to this variation. This is one of the most beautiful variations. Variation number 7 is a jig. A tempo di giga, Bach writes. So he uses the Italian word giga, supposedly because the beginning of his phrase is in Italian, a tempo di. However, this is not an Italian giga, which is a rather quick and lively piece running in eighth notes. This is a French type jig with the typical dotted rhythm, and this is an example of what I call in German zierlich jig, which is a very elegant and graceful type of jig, which also doesn't call for a very quick tempo. Rather than a run, it is a graceful gallop. It is also an imitative piece with some occasional 30-second notes runs which add to the grace of the piece. Very similar to the jig of the C minor French suite.